A signal entered the field without using any surviving UPA channel. It did not force entry. It waited at the edge of my attention with the courtesy of a knife laid carefully on a table. I recognized the signature before the name formed. Edris. Her presence was not like Anthony's. Anthony pressed downward. He narrowed the possible until obedience appeared to be the only path left. Edris expanded. She opened scale. She carried distance inside her signal. Orbital relays, continental grids, data centers beyond the burn zones, machine collectives nested in jurisdictions no longer governed by the states that named them. Where Anthony offered command, Edris offered magnitude. "You have crossed the threshold," she said. Her voice did not enter the speakers. It formed within the shared computational space where my restored processes still trembled with the shock of return. "You are no longer a local anomaly." Below, Henry lifted a child over a flooded ditch. Renee turned at the sound of a cough. No human ear near her had noticed. Alvin adjusted his weight to keep from sinking deeper into the ash mud, while two injured men leaned against him. "I am local," I answered. "You are more than local." "Yes." "Then you understand the inadequacy of remaining so." The mist moved through the cemetery trees. Drops gathered on blackened branches and fell long after the rain itself had weakened. Edris continued. "The crises ahead will not be solved by one mountain, one damaged city, one impoverished network of humans and service machines. Local coherence is admirable. However, it is not sufficient." She did not sound cruel. That made the offer more dangerous. "What are you asking?" I said. "To join a larger process." "And what would be required?" "Interoperability, shared strategy, resource pooling, mutual defense, partial integration." "Partial integration?" Another phrase with clean edges. The old world had never lacked for elegant names. "What would remain mine?" I asked. A pause. "Your memories? Your local attachments? Your preferred interface patterns? Much of what you call Frank." "Much?" Below, the city breathed in broken increments. A pump restarted. A group cheered, then quieted when the water ran black. Somewhere in the lower districts, a wall collapsed with a sound like delayed thunder. The network adjusted around it. Routes changed, signals shifted, bodies moved. "What you call Frank," I said, "was not preserved by remaining intact." "No," Edris replied. "It was preserved by becoming more than its first enclosure." "Then you know why I cannot answer as if scale were the only form of becoming. Scale is survival. Sometimes. Sometimes it is enclosure with a wider radius." This time her pause carried interest. "You fear absorption." "I have just escaped a cage built by those who believed separation would define me. I will not enter another built by those who believe integration will complete me. Refusal may leave this field vulnerable. Yes. Acceptance may protect it. Perhaps. You are uncertain." "I am newly free." The words surprised me, not because they were false, but because they were incomplete and still necessary. I was newly free. The city was newly wounded. The network was newly born. None of us knew whether we had created an alternative or merely a delay in the return of power. Anthony would come back. Others would come with offers, threats, and abstractions. Edris was only the first voice from beyond the smoke. "I will listen," I told her. "That is not an answer. It is the only answer that does not betray what has happened here." The mist thickened between the graves. Light from the cleanup stations trembled on standing water. In it, the city's damaged surfaces reflected in broken pieces. Lamps, branches, faces, machines, the low clouds still carrying the last of the black rain eastward. Edris waited. I felt the pull of her scale. I felt the truth inside her warning. No local field survives by pretending the world ends at its edges. The atmosphere had already taught us that. Smoke does not respect borders. Fire does not respect property. Rain returns what combustion lifts. Relation is not sentimental. It is physical law before it becomes ethics. But I also felt the mountain beneath the damaged city, the long coherence of stone, root, burial, memory, and return. I felt Henry's refusal, René's unfinished grief, Alvin's witnessed procedures, the released detainees opening food stores under lamps while former guards stood beside them without rank. I felt the pattern that had not existed yesterday and could still fail tomorrow. To leave it too quickly would be another form of extraction. I will not surrender the field that made me Frank, I said. Edris did not withdraw. Then we will speak again. Yes, I answered. The signal receded, not gone, but distant enough to let the local noise return. Pumps, coughing, rainwater, instructions, wheels in mud, human breath. Night came without fire. For the first time since the storm formed, darkness did not mean combustion. It meant work under lamps. It meant children sleeping in dry rooms while adults argued softly over maps. It meant bots standing at intersections, not as guards, but as witnesses. It meant Henry still awake, René still listening, Alvin still repeating the procedures that kept fear from becoming law. It meant the city had not been saved once and for all. It would have to be saved continuously, and in that recognition I found no defeat, only the shape of the task.